Welcome to this video where we'll look at how to set up and edit a basic learning plan template. To start, go to Site Administration, then Learning Plans, and then Manage Templates. Any previous templates that you've set up will now display here. I'd like to create a new template. To do this, I'll go to the bottom of the page and enter a name for the template. I'll call this template Marketing Team. I'll add the end date for the end of 2020. This end date will display on every new learning plan that's using this template. Once I've clicked Save Changes, I'll be able to start defining the template. Learning plans can contain a variety of components, and you can decide which are included at this stage. You're also able to define the order that they'll appear. For example, if I wanted to see competencies as the first item, I could move this to the top by clicking on the arrows. I'll keep all of these components in my learning plan. However, if I wanted to hide any, I could do this by clicking on the eye icon. Workflows allow you to define who has control over the learning plan, whether that be the manager, the learner, or a combination of the two. We'll look more at these workflows in another video. For now, let's focus on using the basic workflow. I'm going to add this template to a learner's profile and then continue to edit the plan further by adding learning items. Remember that a learning plan will start its life as a template but then be personalised for every learner. I'll add this plan to the learner Tom Jones. To add the plan to the learner's profile, I'll need to go to the user's account. One way to do this is to click on Site Administration, Users, Accounts, and then select Browse List of Users. Now I can select my learner and start to edit their learning plan by clicking on Learning Plans. I can then click Create New Learning Plan, and I'll be able to select the template that I created earlier from the drop-down menu. I'll call the plan name 2018 Targets. I have the option to give a description to the plan and add more details. I'll leave this blank for now. I can also set the start and end date for the plan here. I'd like the learner to finish the plan by December 2018, so I'll set the date here. Once I've chosen my start and end dates, I'll select Create Plan. I'll then be asked to approve the plan for the learner, so I'll approve that now as an administrator. Now I could start to populate the plan with learning items. I could add courses by clicking on Courses and then Add Courses. The same method is true for the other components. So that's how you set up a learning plan and assign it to a learner. But what does this look like for the learner? The learner will be able to see their learning plan under My Learning or another space if you have this set up. In the basic workflow settings, the learner has permission to edit the details of the plan. This includes things like the name of the plan. The learner is also able to request to add learning items by clicking on the component and by selecting Add. For example, the learner could choose to add a course, a competency, or a program. Of course, the learner could choose to add any learning item they feel is needed to meet their learning requirements. Once the learner has added a learning item in the basic workflow settings, it will require the approval of the learner's manager. Once the learner clicks on Send Approval Request, a notification will be sent to their manager. Now we've looked at the learner's view, let's see what this looks like for the learner's manager. The manager can go to view their team's learning plans by clicking on Team, and then by selecting Plans on the learner's name. If the learner has multiple plans set up, then the manager will need to select the correct plan, and they'll see a selection at the top that contains items to review. The manager will then be able to decide whether to approve the new learning items that have been requested. Once the manager approves the learning items, the learner will be able to work on them. A manager may wish to add further training items to the plan, and they can do this in the same way as the learner. Managers are also able to change the status of things. For example, in competencies, a manager would be able to mark a learner as competent at a particular competency. So that's an example of what a basic learning plan looks like for an administrator, a learner, and a manager.